Hi. So we're just gonna start off with an explanation of who Small Medium Large is, and then we'll get into a little bit of a story, and we'll see where it goes. Okay, so Small Medium Large, they're a quintet. They got bassist Anna Butters, synthesist Jeremiah Chio. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but so be it. Saxophonist Josh Johnson, percussionist Brooker Stardrum, and guitarist Gregory Ullman. This album came from long improvisations recorded at the now closed Highland Park venue in Los Angeles. The recordings came from two nights, and they were both two sets at that one night, and at the venue. So yeah, that's what this album is. That's where it came from. And let me tell you a story about how I found out about this album. Right, I went to my local record store. I walk in, and this is playing. Okay, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm vibing to it, looking through my records, and I'm wondering what it is because it's really good. And I'm like, I go ask the person, and they're like, this is the album, and I said, okay, go put it. I'm gonna buy it. Go put it on the table so I can buy it later. And I find another record, come back, and I buy it, right? And I bring it home, and I listen to it because obviously, and I review music, and I review pretty much every album I listen to, right? And so for this one, I decided, hey, I might as well do a video review of it. Never tried it before, and I decided to. Why not? So I almost never, listen to music in the same year that it came out. Like, I just don't. I'm not a new music listener. That's just not something I do, right? And this is an exception because I actually have the record right here. This album not only came out this year, came out today as I'm filming this, and probably as it's being uploaded. If it's uploaded on June 28th, then it came out this today, literally today, as you're watching this. And I should show you the vinyl because the vinyl is actually very cool. We got a orange right here. It's a splatter. It's kind of hard. Doesn't really come off on camera too well, but is what it is. It's really cool. It's semi, transparent. It's translucent, I suppose. I'll leave this here. And so yeah, I decided to do a video review of it, and we'll just get into it. I'm gonna go song by song, so you can kind of get a little bit of a vibe of the whole album throughout. Some of them are long descriptions, some of them aren't. We'll see how it goes. Okay, first one, Wilbur Tree Danced. It's spacey and minimalist, and it's got a cool, chill vibe. Nothing incredibly special about it. It's obviously avant-garde. Obviously, if you don't know this album is quite avant-garde throughout the entire thing, so assume with all my descriptions in the end add on, and it's avant-garde to every single song, because it is. It's avant-garde. Okay, second song, Industry. A bit more intense, for sure. There's some, bounce in some of the elements. There's some bouncy sax, bouncy drums. But it's super catchy, which is kind of odd, but I think it's pretty catchy. And you can get right into the vibe of it. You can just start spacing out. The song is kind of spacey, if that makes sense, kind of spaced out. And there's more elements, not quite as minimalist as the first track. And you get the vibe of the name of it. It's called Industry, and you get that vibe quite quickly, and you can definitely understand it. It's more to the point and repetitive, which is you can imagine a factory setting with this song. But yeah, it's very good. So it's very good. Herbie for Commercials, the third song, a little bit more normal, if you want to call that. Less avant-garde, I suppose, than the previous two tracks, but it's still pretty catchy. It's still pretty fun, and that might be the song to get most audiences into it if they don't already like avant-garde or free jazz and stuff. Because it's a jazz album mostly. It's like free jazz. It's actually pretty hard to describe this in the genres. It's like free jazz, but also electronic, some ambience to it, but not quite, not really. But yeah, it's hard to describe in one thing. Anyway, so Search Bar Hi-Hat is the next song. There's more structure, and there's some normal jazz elements, you could say. and it's pretty vibed out. I mean, all these songs got a lot of vibe. You can chill to them. You can put it in the background, but you might get some people that aren't into avant-garde, and they're like, "What are you playing? What is this? Why are you playing this? My birthday party." This would be a bad birthday party album. I'm saying that. Actually, I just thought about this. This is an obi that's attached to it. I can show you the full cover. It's actually pretty cool. Pretty nice cover. This label, International Anthem, I was looking at some of their other releases, and they've got some cool covers, I'll be honest. But this one is quite cool. The back cover is not quite as interesting. It's just kind of some text with some pictures of the band there. But yeah, the front cover is pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, so Windowsill Song. This song made me think of the word synapses, which are the things in your brain that go back and forth, sending, information and electrons or whatever. And it's got like a back and forth kind of feeling to it. And yeah, it just made me think of that. Switchboard Operations. It's a nice song. There's some good sax runs on it, but it's probably the most normal sounding on the album, honestly, which is fine. It's just kind of not that much to talk about, honestly. Soft Sand, it's pretty low-key. It's low-key. But there's not that much to say about it. It's just a low-key. It's pretty short, so it's like 2 minutes or something. Yeah. And then 3 Over Steel, which is the song with a video, which I don't know if that was the right decision. Honestly, in my opinion, this might be the worst song. It's still a good song. I like the song quite a bit, but it might be the worst song on the album in theory. So it's more repetitive. It feels to me a little uninspired for some reason. Maybe that's just my opinion. It is my opinion. All this is just my opinion. It feels just a tad uninspired, but that is what it is. It probably isn't. It's probably pretty inspired, but that's just my opinion. Whatever. It's fine. It doesn't really matter. And yes, it's still quite good. I do like it's also quite long. It could be a little shorter. I think actually, if it was shorter and the next song, Chasing Brain, was as extended, that'd be a good decision. But I'm not a critic. I am a critic actually. I'm being a critic right now. Anyway, yeah. So I feel like the transition between the first half and the second half of the song on 3 Over Steel is a good transition. It's interesting, but again, it's not. It's probably the worst song on the album, but that is the best part of it. So, whatever. Chasing Brain, which I mentioned earlier, it's pretty short, but I like it. It's rewarding, you could say. And I think it could be extended just a little bit, in my opinion, but that is what it is. History of Communication, it's good. It's a good song, but again, I don't have that much to say about it just because it's not something that blew me away or changed a lot. It stuck with the generally good aspects of the other songs, but they didn't, push that much further with this specific song. But again, it's still good. Still a good song. Still like it quite a bit. The next song, though, I do have some stuff to say about. Feed the Birds. This is my favorite song on the album. Really, really good song. It's got the most elements, I think, that just hit each other the right way in your ears, and they just hit each other, and it just works. It just works real well. It's got more composition to it. You can kind of feel that a little bit more, but it is all improv, but it still feels like there was more compositional elements and thought put into that specific song. In some way or another, I don't know exactly what it is or how it feels that way, but if you listen to it, maybe you can understand what I'm trying to say. It feels a bit like industry, a little bit more industrial in that sense of repetitiveness, but I like that quite a bit in this specific instance. The standout of this track is the rhythm. The rhythm is really good. The rhythm is great, and I feel like every single element has rhythm, not just the percussion, but the rhythm is like, ooh, that stands out. That's top notch. That's some really nice rhythm right there. It's the longest song, but it's like 6 minutes. Does it say on the back the time? It doesn't, but it's like 6 minutes. But I think that actually is very much to its benefit because it has the most room to grow of any of the songs of the album. So I think that's why I like it the most, and also just really good. The rhythm's really good. I'm a sucker for rhythm. I like rhythm, but it's really good, top notch. And then Greg's Melody is fine. It's a little bit underwhelming right after Feed the Birds because it's my favorite song on the album, but it's good. It's a good song. It just doesn't stand out to me in any particular way. Dolphin Language, last song. It's a calm little track. Sometimes not. Sometimes the percussion will get a little more energy, but it's still generally calm, I'd say. But I think it does a good job of closing the album and chilling it out and kind of giving you a little preview. I guess not a preview because you already listened to the rest of the album. Giving you like a nice clothing, giving you a nice closing thing that it kind of explains the rest of the album, and it will put it all in perspective just by listening to this one track. I don't know. It's a good track. Yeah, so overall, this album is great. It's great. I don't know if you can tell. I like this album a lot. It's pretty awing. I'll be honest, I haven't heard much like it. I'm not the biggest free jazz guy or the biggest electronic guy, and so I wouldn't expect myself to really be that into this, but it's a good album. I really like this album. But yeah, I still don't have that much experience with either of the genre. I like jazz, but free jazz I've not really delved into, I'll be honest. But I did like this album. Maybe I should. Maybe I should listen to some more free jazz. Anyway, so yeah, you gotta hear this. Honestly, if you like free jazz, if you like electronic albums, then this is a good album for you. You should listen to it. If you don't, maybe still listen to it. I didn't know I liked any of that, but now I do. So give it a try. I don't know. And this doesn't really mean anything, but I was just thinking about it. I don't think I've heard any album from 2024 at all, but this is probably my favorite. And even though I haven't heard any other album from 2024, this is probably my favorite. So yeah, that's cool. And I rate out of 100 just because that gives more leeway, I suppose. It'll let me get more specific about what I like and dislike about the album. And so I rate it out of 100. And so this album, I'm going to give an 87. It's very good. It's a very good album. 87 it is. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. And hope you enjoyed. And if you want to see more reviews, you can leave a like and a comment about what albums you want me to review, perhaps. And maybe I will. We'll see. But yeah, cool. I'll see you next time. And also, if you don't know who I am, subscribe. And I make other videos like this. Not like this, actually. I've never done this before, but I will. I'm planning on making more reviews, but I'm also currently mostly making short documentaries. Not really documentaries, but like information about albums and artists. And it's cool. It's a cool channel. Subscribe. Just subscribe. Anyway, goodbye.